This is Brien Hanley, otherwise known as Big B. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Today we are talking Lamar Jackson. All things Lamar Jackson. The good, the bad, the ugly. His playing style, his throwing style, how it all began for Lamar. Whether you like him, dislike him. Is it sustainable, his playing style? And always that contract and what's coming up in the future for Lamar. So thanks for tuning in. Let's take a deep dive into this and let's talk about it.
The first time I saw him, and that was my first. It was a shock to my system, and then I'm like, who is this kid?
Right?
Like, tackle him. I'm frustrated, Florida State, everything. After so long, it was like, man, this dude here nice, man.
Right.
Wow. It turned from being frustrated to being in awe. And it was that times too when I saw Lamar play us in his Heisman moment game that year. That was the Heisman year. And how he tore Florida State up, man.
Yeah, I remember I was at the game in Louisville. That was brutal.
It was more, yeah, it was respect. It was like, damn, man, this dude. And then the style is just exciting.
Absolutely.
Right from the beginning, what really caught my eye about Lamar, to be honest, was his running ability. As far as he just has an instinct of running that I hadn't seen from anybody. It's his own style. Seems to have a move for every situation, like he practices it in some way. Like I had never seen anything like it. And from the first moment I saw Lamar Jackson, he became my favorite player, and I just been ever since.
Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. That kind of gets me a little bit into what I wanted to talk about, at least at the beginning, is it seems like a lot of people, either you love him or you hate him. Right. There is no in between when it comes to Lamar Jackson. I'm torn because, and I know we talked about it, is because, like I said, I'm a diehard Louisville fan. And I was at the game, right, when they beat up Florida State. I was there. However, I am also a diehard Steeler fan. And so it makes it difficult. And I'm not going to lie about it when I do not like seeing Lamar play well against us. And if we're battling and we need them to lose, I want Lamar to play bad. So it's difficult. It's difficult because I saw what he did for the city of Louisville and for the university.
Right.
He means a lot to everybody there. So it makes it difficult. So, but having said that, it's everybody, either they love him or they hate him. There's just not an in between. The reason that go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
The reason that I say that is because the playing style, and that's kind of when I get into it, is I like his playing style. I think it's different. I think different is needed. I think everybody gets stuck on how everybody has to play. Now, there are things that Lamar got to do better, man. He just does. He got to be able to throw outside the numbers better. He's got to be able to check better, check plays, not necessarily reading defenses, but, hey, if we're in a play and it's a bad play, he got to be able to get into another play. So tell me a little bit about what you see with Lamar, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth from there and see and go from there.
What I see with Lamar, and I'm just brutally honest with anything I love, anybody I deal with. That's just me. Lamar needs to check down a lot more, would solve a lot of his problems.
Right.
I feel like just the check down, that's it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. As far as missed throws, quarterbacks miss throws.
Correct.
He's not as accurate as some of the most accurate, but he can be as accurate as some of the most accurate. He's not as consistent as these guys.
Right.
But nobody has a bigger arm. They say Josh Allen, but they don't talk about Lamar like that.
No.
But what I would say is checking the ball down would solve 30% of his problems and the offensive problems. That's his fault on offense. That's why I pretty much put most of the blame for him. As far as checking, to me, that we don't know if the coaches are giving him that liberty or either preparing him to do so. We don't know. It seems like Greg Roman, from what he said, that garbage he said in the media about waiting until the last second for the possessions, to be lower. Did you catch that?
Yeah,
what he said?
You can't do that.
That was to me. that was a look into the coaching,
Yeah.
not so much John Harbaugh, but Greg Roman. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So I don't put that so much of that on Lamar. He may not even be. They may not even practice that. Like they may not
Right.
even give him the liberty to do that. And I feel like Greg Roman. I appreciate Greg Roman. He's still. And I'm torn with Greg Roman because on one hand he's always terrible at coaching up passing offenses, but his running offenses are revolutionary
Absolutely.
and they produce.
Absolutely.
So it's hard to just call him garbage. Like, I
Yeah, no,
mean, you
he's not
got to give him
garbage.
his credit.
Well,
But I feel like that was good for Lamar when he came in, but he's advanced past that, and you need to take the training wheels off. I mean, to me, it's like he doesn't have to. You can incorporate some of the core things, but also you got to give him a chance to pass, even with the receivers, whatever you got. And I just think it can be schemed up a lot better sometimes. 50% of the time it can be schemed up better, and then some of the time it's schemed up to where there are checkdowns,
right.
and Lamar is trying to do too much.
Yeah.
So I mean that's where I'm at with it.
Well, it's a little bit of hero ball, and sometimes I feel
Right.
like he's trying to play hero because he doesn't have the weapons on the outside. Now, the one thing that I fault people that talk about Lamar, and I will defend him to no end. Look, he played for Bobby Petrino in college. That is not an easy
Right.
offense. It is a pro style offense. He did
Exactly.
things to capitalize on Lamar's running ability, but as far
Right.
as a pro look, it doesn't get as complex as what he was running at the time. That's just part
Yeah.
of Bobby Petrino. It's the truth. And for people to say,
That's true.
well, he can't do this, what you said is right. You don't know if he's been given the liberty to check plays.
Right.
I do know that he ran a complex offense in college. Now, granted, there were
Right.
some aspects of it where they were running the football, and I understand that. But as far as just understanding, you never hear anybody say, well, Lamar Jackson's not smart. Lamar Jackson can't figure something
Right.
out. You don't hear people say that unless they are complete idiots or haters or other reasons, which we don't need to go into. I think we all know that. But the
Right.
bottom line is, you're right. He can't play hero ball. He's got to check the ball down because that's when he gets
Right.
into trouble trying to do too much. And then that's when the turnovers happen. Trying to go down the middle
Exactly.
late. You can't, I mean,
Right.
those are things that he should know better, though. I mean, he's been playing
Right.
football at this level long enough. You throw the ball down the middle of the field late, it is going to get intercepted. It's
I
just,
give him no passes on that. By
yeah,
the way,
yeah, yeah.
I'm his biggest critic this year. It's been he to me. It's been what I said with the coach. Some of the coaching. Coaching matters in this league. You know it.
Absolutely.
It really matters. And it's been lackluster in situational ball. It's been lackluster in creative plays in the passing game. Not so much the run game.
Yeah, man.
But it's been lackluster. They've been out coached too many times. Lamar makes the same amount of mistakes most pros make,
Mm-hmm.
but it's magnified when your coaching staff also is making mistakes and having goofball moments. And I mean the defense is loaded with like star players, like quality players, but for some reason they're not living up to what they need to be. Like that team is loaded,
Right.
the roster. So as far as the way and the style of play, which I know we're probably going to get into, I don't want to skip ahead if you
No,
went
you're good.
headed there. But the style of play I believe can win
Yep.
if the defense plays just to they don't have to be play better than they are. Who they are great.
Mm-hmm.
They can play just solid defense. They haven't just played solid defense for the most part this year.
Right.
It's been terrible, great in spots, but not solid.
I got you.
If they can play solid defense, Lamar can put points up. Most of the time that they hurt themselves, it's them hurting themselves. Nobody's really just straight stopping the Ravens. You know, they've had plenty of opportunities. This last game against Jacksonville that they lost, it needs to be pointed out. They dropped 3 touchdown passes.
Right.
They literally dropped 3. On top of the other numerous drops in that game. And they still were in position to win. So, I mean, the Ravens, on one hand, I understand Bushati and the Ravens not wanting to cave into the pressure and the precedent that had been set by which Darren says a lot is an outlier. I agree, but it's like golf. Once it's on the board, it's on the board. That score is on the board.
Right.
So it's a talking point going forward no matter what. And even if Lamar doesn't get it now, that time is coming where these quarterbacks are going to command these guarantees. So you may as well try to structure your guarantee first better than what you're going to have to do anyway.
Sure.
At the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing Lamar go to Miami and play for a coach that I believe. You think he can't do what Tua doing? Plus he has the arm for Tyreek. Um, that would be cool for me. That's what I would want for Lamar selfishly.
Well, that's what I was going. We're going to get into that, and we'll get into it later, a little bit later, and talk about that because that's absolutely stuff that we got to cover, and everybody wants to talk about. But you hit on it earlier, right, talking about playing style. See, for me, I'm still under the assumption that you can run, you can do those kinds of things, but Lamar's going to have to learn to start sliding. He doesn't slide. And look, Cam Newton didn't either. Cam Newton is about 60 pounds bigger than Lamar Jackson, and Cam Newton didn't last. You got to slide, man. Guys are too big, too fast. The one thing I will say, he never really takes a solid hit, but he's going to slow down at some point. He's not going to be this fast and this elusive forever. And my thing is, man, you got to learn to do some of these things that other quarterbacks do. Otherwise, you can't play till you're 35 years old. It's just impossible. He's going to be too beat up. So my thing with the playing style, again, checking down, but you got to learn to either run out of bounds or you got to slide. Or you have to run not to get or to not get tackled. Run to get away and then throw the ball away. You never really see Lamar just throw the ball away a lot of times. He's either running to get yards, live to play another day. And in his case, it's got to be live to play another 5 seasons. That's my opinion on it because he doesn't slide, man. And sooner or later, whether it's a cheap shot that gets him or somebody just hits him hard, he doesn't get down early enough or he slows down, it's going to catch up to him. Now, nobody wishes that on anybody. At least sane people don't wish that on anybody. But at the same time, the way he plays, I just think he's got to add another element, start sliding and throwing the ball away. And if he does that, I think people may get off his back a little bit about playing style. What do you think?
I gotta give a little pushback on that. I kind of tend to disagree, but I do understand why that would be a point of view and your point of view. Logically, it seems like, these guys taking off is much more dangerous than just sitting in the pocket and, staring down these defenders, which was always kind of that whole ideology and the mythology of the quarterback staring down the barrel and delivering.
Right.
It seems like if that's the mentality for your quarterback to take a hit despite what's going on for one completion, basically at that moment, then, we're pretty much saying take hits and we want them to be able to take hits, flush hits, whatever you need to do to deliver the ball. But on the other hand, we'll say they need to slide, which I get. But they did do a study, according to Max Kellerman.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the study personally, but he said that they did the study, and it's slightly more quarterbacks get hurt more in the pocket than they do outside the pocket. So whether that's true or not, I kind of already subscribe to that feeling, because I'd rather be running and seeing you and being able to get down or decide how I get hit, as opposed to standing in the pocket and getting hit from behind like Lamar got hurt, tackled to the ground.
Right.
To me, it seems safer to run. But I do understand the conventional wisdom, it seems. And in most cases, it probably would be. But, as it shakes out, most of these quarterbacks get hurt in the pocket more than they do running. Now, with that being said, I think Lamar does a good job of protecting himself.
Sure.
Does he slide? No, but he sits down. He goes down a certain way. With that being said, I still think he needs to take less because sometimes he blanks out and tries to run people over in you know, in the field of play or going out of bounds where you didn't even have to take that contact. So point taken. I don't say he needs to slide more. I say he needs to consistently stay out of those situations where he doesn't have to make contact.
I got you.
Because he does that to me too much.
Yeah.
Where he tries to run through a defender at the end of a play or going out of bounds, just unnecessary. Like, but you know, he's a 20, 25-year-old kid, and I'm sure he'll become much more wiser in these upcoming years. And I just wish they would have paid him or he would have took his money so we could see the full Lamar Jackson. Because let's be honest, he's not out there.
He's not.
He's not going.
Nope.
He's not going 100%.
Nope.
We watch him going through the motions and still be great. Going through the motions.
Yep.
Josh Allen and these guys and Patrick Mahomes taking off more than Lamar right nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the one thing about Josh Allen, and I've said it on numerous occasions, Buffalo's trying to get him killed. They just set up runs, unnecessary runs, not even, hey, he's scrambling, just unnecessary runs. I'm like, don't y'all want to give the ball to a running back? They don't even try, you know, but they won't say anything about it, which leads me to my next point of people just don't like Lamar playing this way. Tell me why. Well, I'll start off. You know, there's always going to be a race element to pretty much everything that we do in this society. I am not a guy that throws race around because I don't think it's necessary. I think it gets thrown around way too much. And when there's actually real race issues that come up, people don't take it serious because somebody's always saying, oh, he's racist, when it doesn't need to be. In this case with Lamar, I think some of it is that. Because some people don't like him running around and want him to sit there because just what we said, Josh Allen does the same stuff. And you get a few people that say, well, he doesn't need to run around. But for the majority, people love it. He's tough. He's big. He can take it. Well, no, he can't take it. And yes, he will get hurt. I mean, he's not as big and as fast as all these other. He's going to get hurt. That's how it happens. So I get, again, I'm not trying to throw it all on race, but I think that has a big part of it. But I just think people don't understand how he plays the position. But you tell me, what do you think the reason people don't like him?
Honestly, I think the racial component is going to be there, period. I mean, we kind of do the same thing with white cornerbacks. I mean, how many white cornerbacks?
Absolutely.
Our first, is that racist or is that just, you know, like we don't really see it that often? Not that it can't happen, but certain biases I think exist with everyone. And as far as that goes, I think the real driving point why people would mostly don't like Lamar is just what they want it to look like, what they feel like, what they grew up being a quarterback is, what that idealism is, what's been pushed on us. I'm not saying it's anything nefarious or anything, but just that idea of a, you know,
what a quarterback should be.
Good old American quarterback, corporate quarterback, head of the franchise. He's not that. He's not trying to change who he is or play corporate quarterback.
Right.
And I think that offends some people, but that's just on the social part of it. As far as the play style, I believe that it's just really logical though. Most people would say that style hasn't won, and they'll just lean on that. That style, it hasn't won, it doesn't win. And until he wins it, we won't be able to just say, okay, you know, I feel like he can. But as long as he doesn't, I understand why people say he can't. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm not delusional. Well, it's just, you know.
That kind of goes into what I was going to talk about next is can you win that way? Because he hasn't. Now, he's young. He's still got plenty of time to play football. You know, so is he going to be able to win playing this way? You tell me.
I tell you this, I just asked you this question. If he had the same team he has right now with Chase and maybe a second guy like Smith
Right.
out of Alabama that's at the Eagles. Just say he had those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's all they need to put them over the top. Not saying that that's easy. This is mad and you can just make that happen. But it's just like when Lamar faced Deshaun Watson when they were at Clemson that year. And he just got squeaked out by Watson.
Correct.
And I'm just like, imagine if Lamar was on Clemson. It wouldn't have even been close.
Right. Right.
So the same thing applies. You put Lamar on one of 5 teams right now, they're going to the Super Bowl automatically.
But to say that, they have had the number 1 seed in the division. So you can't say, well, he hadn't been on the best team because they were the best team, especially the year he won the MVP. I mean, they were the best team. They just weren't.
That was a tribute to him. That's a tribute to him. Keep in mind, he was 23 years old during that time.
He was.
At that time, the most winningest quarterback in history. At that time, the most accurate quarterback in history. The list goes on. So, to me, if Josh Allen or any of these other people, or not even Josh Allen, or Deshaun Watson before the allegations, just that brand of quarterback, that what people want to see thing, like that,
it's changing.
What a quarterback should be.
Yeah, it's changing.
That look.
It's changing.
And you know, if he was even like that, if Deshaun Watson had the accomplishments that Lamar Jackson would have had, he would have been the biggest he would have been a face of the league.
Absolutely.
Like, so to me, some of it is Lamar Jackson's fault when it comes to the playing, and that's, to me, that's just the small things though. It's not like he can't read defenses, or he's constantly making the wrong reads or going the wrong place with the ball. Like, that's not it. It's just trying to do too much and not being consistent. And I say he's 25 years old. I mean, he's still got at least 3 to 4 prime what we know of Lamar years with his feet.
Right.
The tail end of that, I mean, that's prime Lamar. A slowed down Lamar is still going to be really, really, really good and really hard to tackle.
Sure.
But what he can be what he is right now for another 3 to 4 years for easy. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So that's why I think he's right to fight for his money, because yeah, people like, oh, he wanted this money, but look what we're seeing. People like Michael Irvin. We're not seeing these highlights. Yeah, you're not going to see him because he's not going all out.
Not going to.
Like, I don't understand the Ravens either. Like, y'all trying to win now, you need to go ahead and pay the man so he's really giving you his all, because he would really, I won't say stupid, but he would be foolish not to, take less risk based on the fact he doesn't have financial security through this team going forward. So that's just like shooting yourself in the foot. You so smart, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. And,
you know what I mean?
Well, and that brings me to, again, another point that we were going to cover is his contract. I mean, look, I was on record saying Lamar should have take $200 million, $190 million, and call it a day and move on down the road. Well, he didn't do that. And the reason he didn't do that is, I think we all know, is because Deshaun Watson got $230 guaranteed, and Lamar has accomplished more in this league than what he did. The problem is, and we all know, it's the Browns. How do you go and give him $230? That was more than anybody by $85 million. Yeah. I go, you can't do that and then expect the next guy. But Lamar's saying, hey, I've accomplished more than him. I deserve that. Lamar also has to be smart and understand, look, yes, I can demand that. And if they do give me that, you better be prepared to win every game alone, because they're not going to have a team to put around him. It's not enough money. Right. Now, I also understand the flip side of that. It's not his job to figure all that out. His job is to get as much money as he possibly can. But here's what I will say. If Tom Brady, now granted, he had a different situation because his wife at the time was filthy rich. But if he can take less, Lamar can take less. If Patrick Mahomes can take less, Lamar can take less. So if you really want to build a team and be there long term, you can take less. It's not like you're in the poorhouse, but You can take less to build a team if you want to do that. I'm not saying you even have to, but if you want to get other guys, to get better guys, then you can take less. And I'm not talking about, hundreds of millions of dollars less. That's not what anybody's saying. But he can take less money if he's wanting to build that. And I think he needs to, because Lamar can't do it by himself. And he shouldn't want to try to do it by himself. Nobody's going to win by themselves. It's football. It's the ultimate team sport. You got to have a good team to win. And you can't have a good team when you make all the money and you don't have a good line. Look at the Rams right now. The Rams did all that shuffling around, and the Rams could still be good, but the Rams don't have a line. And so they can't move the football. They literally can't move the football. So I just think he's got to take less money, not hundreds of millions of dollars less, but some less to be able to build a team around him. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I agree with much of what you said. They definitely won't have enough to pay him. But then again, he doesn't have to take less if he goes to in a trade to the Dolphins.
That's right.
If he goes to the Dolphins, he don't got to do none of that stuff.
No,
you know what I'm saying? He just go to a team that's built already. And in that situation, I can see him saying, I won't take less, but I won't try to push for any more than market value.
Correct.
You know what I mean? In that situation, he take that deal in Miami for what they offer. If that same deal came from Miami, he could leave. He would have took.
He would have taken it. You're right, and he'd be gone, and that would be the end of it. And I think that might be part of what his thinking is. Hey, we don't have that type of team here, and I've been here for a while, and you still haven't built that type of team. So, and where I was on a rookie contract, the number 32 pick of a rookie contract.
Was my next point.
I'm like, so
that was my next point.
You haven't done that. So why do I have to take less if you haven't built the team up already?
Exactly. See, we talk about what they can't build.
Yes.
They had Lamar this whole time on a great value Walmart discount.
Absolutely.
And what did y'all give them when y'all had the money to go spend and splurge?
They didn't do it.
And in the draft, having 2 first rounders, and you pick something other than weapon. You need to match this. And this is what I also say, because so much criticism comes of Lamar, and another reason why I love Lamar so much, because he's a winner. That should have been the first thing I said, why I love him so much. He's 49-20. I looked it up earlier. He's 49-25, I believe, or 24. No, 49-21. Anyway, he's a ridiculous winner, one of the all-time winningest quarterbacks in NFL history. And even this year, Lamar's having a lackluster year. They're blowing leads. The defense playing terrible. Guess what? They're the 4th seed in the AFC.
Right.
The 4th seed.
Right.
And you see what happens when he goes out. And I love Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, they couldn't.
And I think Tyler Huntley gonna beat y'all this weekend. but he's not Lamar Jackson.
No.
And Lamar he's in a unique position. It's easy to say market value, but there is no Lamar Jackson market. He has his own market. You're not gonna go get another one of those. Like, there's not another one of him out here that can give your team rushing, lead your team in rushing, and lead your team in passing efficiently while winning. See, because we say, can this style win? We know for absolutely it can win. The Ravens and Lamar Jackson both don't play their best at the most important times. And I think that overshadows anything.
It does.
To me, they could have won already. They just have not played a grade A game in the playoffs, period.
Right.
And that's just not Lamar. Even this year, they haven't played a grade A game that was just, it's clicking. Which, if Lamar comes back, which to me, I don't think he's going to come back based on the money.
Nope.
So, I think it's probably over at the Ravens. If he leaves, though, I only want one destination. If he can't go to Miami, I want him to come to the Bucks, but no line. I do, but I don't. So if he can't go to Miami, I want him to work it out at the Ravens, because honestly, man, give him just one of these star receivers. Give him Diggs, man. Give him Diggs or somebody like
I
that.
don't even
Give
think
him
it
Diggs.
has to be a star receiver, man. It just give him somebody that's top 15. You don't have to have the top 5. He doesn't have to
Right.
have a top 5. Just give him somebody in the top 15 or give him a Juju. Yeah.
A top 20.
Yes, just give them something. But the guys that they failed them when it's come to that, because even the guys that
Yeah.
they have drafted have not panned out. They haven't worked out. They're not any good, or they don't give them the ball enough. I think Duvernay got a little something, but again, what's he, a
Right.
top 50, top 60 guy? I
Yeah.
go, so
Man,
and Rashad Bateman can't stay healthy. I mean, he just refuses to be on the field. So what are you going to do with that? And no
from the
team,
outside looking in.
no team, and I don't care who it is going to win in the playoffs when your best receiver is the tight end. I know people will say, well, the Chiefs won with Travis Kelce, but he also had Tyreek Hill right next to him.
Right.
And I'm not sure that Tyreek Hill wasn't the best receiver. Matter of fact, I'm pretty positive that he was. So you're not going to have it with head and shoulders that the best receiver on your team is the tight end. You're not winning in the playoffs. You can't stretch your field enough. You're just not going to win, man. It doesn't work that way in the NFL.
Yeah. I go back to this comparison, man. Had Lamar Jackson played for any of those top 5 schools the year that he won the Heisman, or any of the years he was in college, that team would have been the national champions every year. Any of those power teams. Put him on Alabama, put him on whoever was good at that time. Give him those weapons. It's always been like that. At Louisville, he didn't have the weapons comparable to the big competition.
No.
He was always under, and look what he did.
Yeah.
In that game against Clemson, he was supposed to win. The wide receiver ran out of bounds at the end.
Don't get
Man,
me
Lamar
started.
was Superman in that game.
Don't get me started.
Now imagine him on a team loaded.
Exactly.
On a team loaded. He's never been on a team loaded offensively.
No.
He's always had to do everything. So just give me one season where Lamar Jackson doesn't have to be Superman. Give him another Superman or Robin, or give him something. Because he hasn't had it in college or in the pros.
Right.
And he's still a winner. So he deserves all the respect in the world. I love Lamar Jackson, man. He's a great kid, very humble. Man, I do nothing but root. I root for him harder than anything in sport. And it's bigger than the game. It's a message that I'm rooting for.
I got you.
And against the odds that I'm rooting for. It's more than just like, oh, I love Lamar Jackson, because I also hold him accountable. I've been in my man cave cussing him out all year. You know what I'm saying? Missing check downs and just feeling like he had to do too much. But man, I mean, I don't understand how nobody could not like Lamar Jackson. It would have to be a racial component, or either, like I said, they just are used to a certain type of style.
Right.
But I mean,
there's nothing not to like about him. If you take away playing, he doesn't get in trouble off the field. He's a good guy. I mean, the entire city of Louisville loves him. The whole city of Louisville, they'd do anything for that guy, for what he meant to that city. And I'm pretty sure Baltimore feels the exact same way. The entire city of Baltimore loves that guy. So there's nothing not to like about him. I understand if you don't like his playing style, but it's another thing. Or if you're, a rival, you don't have to like him.
Right.
Because like I said, I'm a Steeler fan, and it makes it difficult. But
no. I mean, you don't have to like these guys. I guess what I'm saying is, don't hate the hate, but that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a totally different conversation.
Built a different way, and we'll never be on the same page with that.
Absolutely.
That type of person with that mindset. So I don't tend to get too angry anymore about people who hate on Lamar, because some of the things that is said to me is true. Not true, but stuff that he bring on himself. Like, I'm telling you, if this dude just starts simply checking the ball down, man, just adding that to his game is gonna take him and that team. They can win this year.
Yeah,
they can win right now. You seen Deshaun Jackson get behind that secondary.
Yeah, they got a chance.
You know what I mean?
They definitely got a chance, man. If he just tweaks a couple of things. Hopefully this injury ain't too bad, man. I do have a feeling that he's just going to say, nah, I'm not coming back.
Why would he come back? Why would he come back?
You guys had your chance, man, and I feel like he's just going to hang it up for the year and just say, I'll come back. If y'all want to pay me, great. If not, because I don't feel like he's going to play on the franchise tag, not 1 second. So, because if he was going to do that, I just don't feel like he's going to do that. So.
Now just think, if he goes anywhere else, just think about this for a second. If he goes anywhere else besides the Texans, he will land on a team with a star receiver that's better than anybody he got right now.
Absolutely. Well, even the Texans. Texans got Brandon Cooks.
My point exactly.
Yeah, even the Texans. And I mean, I know Cooks ain't having a great year this year. That's because their quarterback is absolutely god awful. But, you know, man, he's got a chance. He's got a chance, man. So, in ending all of this conversation is Lamar Jackson. Tell me where you think he is in the hierarchy of quarterbacks. Top 10, top 15. I'm not even going outside top 15 because that's dumb talk. But yeah, as of right now.
Oh, he's in the top 10 right now, for sure.
Gotcha. Who you got? Mahomes, sure. Allen?
I got Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. I don't know. Burrow, and I don't know. I like Joe Burrow.
I do too. I do too. Burrow. I hate saying it, but I like Joe Burrow.
Joe right at. He can be one or two. I mean, not one. He can be two. Mm-hmm. He can be two. He can be behind Mahomes. Mm-hmm. So that's the top three. Right now, I like Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. I always like Jalen Hurts. I know somebody's watching this knows, and I'm sure he's happy about his performance, that quarterback's performance. But I like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, he's playing well, man. He's playing well.
And he young.
Yeah.
Who else would I give it? Justin Herbert.
See, now that's where I'm pushing back. They talk about Herbert. Herbert got to win some football games, man. Now, I know his coach gets in the way because his coach is a damn fool. And all that nerd analytical football that gets you beat. Going for it on fourth down, at your 18-yard line, stuff like that. I get it. But Herbert's got to go win. See, my thing is with a quarterback, I say you've got to, in spite of everything else, go win a football game. That's what John Elway used to do. Joe Montana used to do. Those guys used to go win a football game regardless. Go win a football game. Justin Herbert got to go win football games.
On that note, Kirk Cousins will be in my top 10 right now.
He's winning right now, isn't he?
I like Kirk Cousins under pressure this year, man. He been spot on.
He's different this year under pressure, isn't he? He's been different.
Yeah. Cousins been balling. Tua, I like Tua from the beginning. Everybody talked about Tua. You can check my record. I've never wavered. I knew he would be good. I knew Hurts would be good. I called him out too. People had questions about them two guys right there. I never did.
Well, the thing that drove me insane about Hurts is everybody said this is his second year starting, and they acted like, oh, Hurts is terrible. I'm like, well, he's young, and this is only going to be his second year starting. Is he not allowed to get better? I'm like, what he is right now, that's as good as he's ever going to be. Like every quarterback in the league, they never got better. I mean, I think he's 25. So at 25, or let's call him 26, he can't be better. And that was my own thing. It's like, how did we not allow this kid to get better? Nope. This is what he's going to be.
That brings me to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
In the list.
Yeah. He can be better.
I mean, he 25, 26, man.
Yeah.
Even if he played, which I hope he doesn't, play out his franchise. Man, this man can play out his franchise, make like what I think is like 150 if he play it out by the end, and still leave in his prime at 27 years old.
Correct. So I don't think there's
I think that was his thinking about. That was the upside of like betting on himself. I feel like that's what he was thinking about. Like, Y'all cannot do nothing. But when I can play it out here and get real rich, I could get 150 in like 3 years and then leave and get 3 year from now money.
Right.
That the salary cap is going to be up.
Right. I think
It's
another
a
thing
win-win.
that people don't realize, and I know this is a warped way of thinking a little bit, but Lamar Jackson is pretty frivolous with his money. He doesn't just go out and just spend.
Right.
You don't see that. He doesn't do that. He doesn't live in some, crazy mansion or anything like that. So, and I know there is a huge difference between $200 million and $50 million. There is a gigantic difference. Having said that, if you could never play football again, I'm guessing he would probably be okay at $50 million and be able to live comfortably for the rest of his life. And his kids live comfortably for the rest of their life.
Yeah. So, with the 20 plus that he's getting this year, 23, and then next year it's going to be like 50. Along with whatever Oakley's paying him, whatever these other sponsors pay him, not too many, but he good. Like,
he's got some
money. To me,
man.
that was, he gonna make like almost 150 million.
That's right.
In 3 years.
That's right.
And then leave where in that atmosphere 3 years from now, that 300 million may be a contract that can be done, guaranteed.
That's right.
That's also what I wanted to go back to. When we said 200 million. 200 million in his contract wasn't guaranteed though. See, to me,
oh no, they didn't guarantee anywhere close to that.
No, it was. I don't know what
it was. 133.
What you 133 at signing.
That was all he was gonna get. I say all, but
people never say that though. They always say they offered him 200 million.
No,
they didn't.
No, they didn't.
They really offered him $130 million.
That's right.
If they really offered him 200 million, he wouldn't have turned down 200 million. Right. So I just want people in the media and anybody who talks about that to get that straight, because they always say he turns down 250 million. Stephen A. and all these guys, and y'all got to be smarter enough to know how me at home knows that it really was 130, but you don't know, and you keep throwing out this 200 he turned down. Just stop it.
Stories, entertainment value. But the one thing to keep in mind, that everybody listening that's watching, keep this in mind. They offered Lamar Jackson less money than what Denver Broncos are paying Russell Wilson. I mean, so that should tell you everything that you need to know. The Ravens offered less guaranteed money to Lamar Jackson than what the Denver Broncos are actually giving to Russell Wilson. So,
and that's it, man. Like, what was he supposed to do? The only thing he should have did was probably sit out, other than what he did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that never helped.
Other than that,
when you sit out, it doesn't do anything other than not help you prepare for a season if you're going to play. And he wanted to play. The guy wants to win. He's a competitor. It is what it is, man. He can't be replying to these tweets and all this stuff. I've seen him do it a little bit this year. I never really seen him in the past. He can't be replying to these tweets from people, man. That's not him. That's not his thing. He's got to be better than that.
That's the one thing that I didn't like. And who am I like, right? That I didn't like.
Right, exactly.
Like, who cares? Right. But I just felt like, bro, you above that, and I understand. At the same time, he's 25 years old, and this is a generation. They live their life. They came into this world with these things, like, you know, they never seen a time before. So you kind of, to me, I give them a pass a little bit, but not a pass. I just understand. I just wish you wouldn't have, come on, bro. Don't entertain it, because especially not in that way. Not in that way.
Yeah, no, not in that way at all.
Like, you could have said something. You just be sophisticated. Stay smart and cool like you are, because I admire that about him. The way he deal with the media, he not rude. He real nice to the reporters, and he answers.
Well, that was what I was going to bring up, is because he still responds and talks to female reporters. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
So he knows better. You know it.
Right.
And it's just like you said, he doesn't know anything because this is how they were brought up in this environment. But he was also brought up with manners. He also was brought up with some sense.
Right.
So he knows he just can't be that way.
You above that. He done said so many times, I don't care what they talking about. I don't care about the noise. I mean, clearly he showed that that's not true, but what else is he supposed to say? You know, these quarterbacks supposed to say certain things, and he's done a good job at saying the right things. Just in that moment, you know, it can be heated, and none of us know how it feels to be Lamar Jackson with the weight of the world on your shoulders,
That's
and
right.
people talking, you know. So, you know, I can't say I don't understand why he did. I don't understand why he did it. I just wish he wouldn't have. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Because I
That's
don't
right.
want them to give any ammo, give him to give them any ammo to hate
Nope.
any more than they already do. Like,
That's right. That's
so
exactly right. Because the first you show a little chink in the armor, and they will come for you. And it's
believe
just
me.
like, and he's just, my thing about it is he's not that person, at least publicly. He's
Right,
not that person. Now, nobody really knows how people are privately. So, but that's none of our business.
right.
But publicly, he doesn't appear to be that person. So I think,
Yeah.
he's frustrated. Like you said, he's young. And he's like, look, man, don't be bad mouthing me over something that I can't control or something like that. Or whatever. And even if he can control it, he just gotta be better for that.
Yeah, especially when I done drove down the field, threw a 75-yard pass to you know what I'm saying, Deshaun Jackson in clutch to win the game, and my defense can't hold the lead for a minute and 47 seconds. They had to go the length of the field and score a 2-point conversion. I'm
That's right.
sure he was extremely upset.
Correct. Man, thank you for joining in, man. I can't wait to keep popping these off, man. This is
Yes,
fun.
yes.
I
It
had
was
a
a
good time, man. So thanks again, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, LTB podcast. We appreciate it. And until next time, thank you.
all right.